Ding dong! Watch out for the opening doors! It's Friend Talk Now, welcome. Oh, Jesus!
Yes!
Why,
If I
Willa?
topping up the audio.
We are still joined today by our guest, Will Scoinfold.
Sconefold?
Speed Scoinfold?
Skyfold? Willis Skyfold.
Well, our special guest won't correct us on the name, so we'll just assume we got it right.
Willis Skyfold.
So, well, today, the day we're recording this, it is Memorial Day Sunday. No, it's not.
The day before Memorial
It's the
Day.
day before. I never check the calendars. Don't ask me to check a calendar.
Wow.
It's Sunday, and Saturday was quite the thing for me. So, I think it was stated, like an episode or two ago, Willa, please put that marble down. Willa's holding a glass marble, which she's going to put down now. Just put Willa, put the marble
Tell your
down.
story. Just tell your story.
Oh my god. Okay, so, like, I think I, stated an episode or two ago how, we weren't recording on our usual table because it was replacing another table that I could not use at the moment. Well, basically, Saturday started with, me and my dad and my brother just debating the plan for the table, and, it just sort of went a little bit nowhere in terms of stuff, and so we were just like, whatever. It's a beautiful day, let's just go out. And so, we just decided, let's just go out and journey somewhere in a car. And do you guys know Storm King?
No.
For my friends and the listeners back at home, Storm King is, this very massive sculpture garden park thing, just with a lot of rolling hills. It's really beautiful. It's
Where?
fantastic. It is somewhere.
Well, then.
I don't know. Google it. Look it up. I don't care.
We can't, our phones are in a triangle.
Yeah,
Right, they
pretty
built
cool.
a triangle out of our phones.
It's pretty cool. We would take a picture with our phones, but then...
Yeah. So anyways, we were just like, oh yeah, let's go to Storm King. Let's draw some sculptures and things like that. Artistic inspiration and things. Please don't blow on the microphone.
I was blowing on the marble.
You're gonna blow on the microphone accidentally, though?
Right. You're no fun.
So... Anyways...
He just
James-
put a rock on the table.
Yeah, James has also placed a small stone next to the marble on the table.
James, don't.
James, don't
Don't
get
do
another
it.
small stone.
Don't do it, James.
James.
I was trying to get
You
a
went
big
to
rock, but it didn't
Stormfield.
work.
Right?
Storm King. So we were driving out to Storm
Stop,
King.
James.
We were driving out to Storm King, and my dad was suddenly like, "Hey, you know what? Have you guys ever been up to Tuxedo, New York? Because we were passing by the exit for that, and we were just like, not really ever." And so he was just like, "Okay, let's just detour over to Storm King." Nope. Let me say that again. Let's just detour over to Tuxedo for a bit, try to get some lunch, and then maybe we'll see if we can go to Storm King. So, we started driving over to Tuxedo, and the highway going in there, just geez, the hills there, it's really beautiful. Just a lot of just rolling hills and cliffs, because it's sort of in that all cliffy area leading up to the Hudson. Although I don't think it's really anywhere near the Hudson. It's still quite a drive away from the Hudson. But anyways, so we just stopped in Tuxedo and looked around for a while, and it's a beautiful town. Honestly, you guys gotta go to Tuxedo someday because it's fantastic. And we drew a bunch and stayed out, and then we were going to pile back into the car, and my mom sort of gets out, looks, squints at a yard and says, "Hey, is that a bear?" And we just sort of, and so, we sort of, scramble around, just I don't know what you're talking about, I don't see a bear anywhere, and it's just no, in that yard there, the yard closest to us, is that a bear? And we look over, and between the trees, we see a baby black bear shifting through someone's garbage.
That's adorable.
And so we freeze for a second.
That's terrifying.
The bear
adorable.
The bear looks up, looks at us. By the way, it isn't adorable. Bears are adorable. I would not approach one, but they're adorable. So
the baby itself is adorable, but the
But,
mother,
like, the thought that the mom's not too far from...
the mother, and
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
But, like, basically the baby looks at us, and I'm just like, guys, we're gonna carefully move back to the car now because that bear can run faster than us. And so we just carefully shuffle back to the car and drive away and scare the bear. And it didn't know. I'm pretty sure that bear did not know what humans were or what cars were. And, like, it just didn't know exactly where it was. Wow, you're actually kicking up some dust from this carpet that is on the table. There's a carpet on the table.
Whoa.
Stop doing that.
Stop it, James. You're gonna top
I love how we
it.
all instinctively looked over to the computer to see if we topped it out, even though we minimized the recorder so that we wouldn't be distracted by the little bars.
Yeah.
So we get in and we start driving, and like we just keep driving. Like, we don't try and circle back around to go to Storm King. We just keep driving up because it's just like Dad is just like, hey, do you want to see if we could just like follow this road, see if we can find any place for lunch? It's just like, sure, why not? And so it winds up like
Sorry.
it like loops up a couple of the hills and stuff. It's really fantastic. It goes around this like massive lake. It's really crazy. And we keep driving, and we end up in Nyack.
What's that?
Okay, then.
Nyack is a town way far away from here on the bank of the Hudson. And it's like we just drove all the way out to Nyack,
Quite big.
and we passed a sign that said Edward Hopper House.
Woo!
And so I'm
Sponsor.
assuming everyone here knows of the famous painter Edward Hopper.
Right. I totally know who that is.
Yes,
You,
I-
James, buddy friend.
Yes, I do
Buddy
know
friend James.
who-
Edward Hopper is a famous
Ed
painter.
Hopper. Heh.
Is a famous painter illustrator
We figured when you said the famous...
who was very cool. So we were just like, oh, okay, cool. And so we like parked somewhere, and like it's overall just a really beautiful town. Like the Tuxedo Nyack area, that's Cheesequake.
Oh,
Like it looks exactly like how I would imagine that town to look.
Chesapeake.
Yeah, just very hilly and quaint and small and quiet. But yeah, like, so we find a place, we get some lunch, very good sandwiches, but their coffee is subpar. I forget the name of the place. You'll just have to find it for yourself. Just look for very good scones and subpar coffee.
This coffee is subpar.
This must be the place that we're talking about.
These scones.
So then we go over to the Edward Hopper House thing, and we didn't know what it was exactly when we got there, but like apparently Edward Hopper grew up in Nyack. That house was his birthplace.
Okay.
And place where he spent his youth.
Childhood.
Yeah, his childhood and youth. And so we like go in, and it's just it's a house with a small gift shop and like this very nice couple of people that run this thing, and they're just very kind people, and just very because it's not like Hopper's family owns the thing, because there is no more Hopper's family. Hopper was the last of the Hopper family to be alive.
They hopped into extinction.
He never had a kid. So basically this is just
I just
owned
mimicked someone jumping. I'm sorry.
this is just owned by people who are passionate about Edward Hopper's work. And so they were very kind. They gave us a tour of the place. It was one thing that really stuck with me was the fact that there's this one small drawing of his that they have in a frame, and it's apparently just like a small little pen drawing that Hopper did when he was around 9 or 10 on the back of a report card. And it looks very nice, and it's here in a designated museum, and it's just geez, I draw on the back of my report cards all the time. Why isn't my shit in a museum?
A lot of reasons.
A lot of reasons. One, I'm not dead.
Nor are you famous.
Not yet, I'm
James
not.
and I can fix that though.
Whoa! They just took out swords. Please put away the swords. Stop! Stop with the swords! Don't knock over the triangle!
You're holding the sword.
I'm holding the swords by the blades. Gosh, dang. Well, I don't have hands anymore.
Are you a genie? He has his hands.
I've crossed my arms like
Wiggle your
Queen.
nose.
I can't wiggle my nose.
Neither can I.
So it's just a very like nice place, and like my brother just wanted to like draw there, and they were so kind. They were just like, oh yeah, go ahead. We'll just get you a chair. You can go upstairs and draw. And so while my brother was all of a sudden doing a pastel drawing in Edward Hopper's house, which is a very rare thing indeed. You usually, like, you don't expect to be just able to draw in a museum. Just sit down and do a pastel drawing in a museum. He was drawing, this bathroom in the place. No, but here's the thing. Stop laughing for a second. Like, it had this, like, really fantastic stained glass window, and the way the light was coming in, it was, like, just fantastic the way the entire thing looked. So he sat down and just started drawing in, like, sort of it was sort of an oil pastel, but sort of not really.
People don't mention bathrooms.
And so like
They need to draw bathrooms. More artists need to draw bathrooms. That's why they're not becoming famous. They're not drawing bathrooms.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think Edward Hopper drew the bathroom. But
That's
that
why
guy
he's
never.
not that. I'm joking.
He
He could be so famous that aliens would come down to see him if he drew a bathroom.
Yeah. You know, the reason that me and James didn't know about him is because he
He didn't draw a bathroom. Exactly. We only look at bathroom art.
Well, sorry, his art never popped up on bathrooms.tumblr.com, guys. Which, if that's a real site, I'm sorry because I never even looked that up.
You remember in Skyward Sword though when there was a toilet in the Knight Academy?
I've heard of that, but I've never played Skyward Sword.
I was like just so happy.
Alright, finish story.
But anyways, like I got to talking with like the old guy, one of the people that run the museum, and like we just sort of get to talking, and I mentioned that I'm from Bergen County, that I'm from Teaneck, and he's just like, oh yeah, Teaneck High was my first teaching job. And I was just like, holy shit. He apparently like taught there like what, 50s, 60s? Like late 50s,
Whoa.
early 60s.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
And like it was just like, wow, we just drove all the way out here to Nyack and found an old teacher at Teaneck High.
Well
in
then.
Edward Hopper's house.
Just walking into Edward Hopper's. Hey!
Just, okay, whatever. But yeah, anyways, then we started driving back, and we like stopped at a Lowe's, got a bunch of wood, and made a table, and that was how we ended the day.
Well then.
Yeah, that was my Saturday. A lot of car sitting and looking at beautiful landscapes
So
and bathrooms.
mine was kind of like Anthony's, in the sense that it was a lot of driving, a lot of prettiness, and there was a bear.
Right.
See, we're out. My family, we're from Sussex County, so
Yeah.
it's like
For those who
Lots
don't
of
know,
woods.
for
for those who don't know,
for those who don't know, Sussex County is
like upper state New Jersey towards upstate New York. That
Yeah,
kind of
it's
woodsy
like-
area a bit.
Yeah.
Very countryful.
Country.
Lots of don't you might get
Rural?
insulted if I said hicks would be a word for it.
Whoa!
It's fine, but we call each other hicks.
Rural.
Rural, a little bit.
Rural.
It's about a mile
That's a
from your
weird
neighbor.
word.
You're about a mile from your neighbor. So if you start dying,
that's
the
such
only
a
neighbor you
weird
have
word.
is Mountain Man Ron, who's about a mile up. No, not joking. My cousin. No, my sister's boyfriend. He has this guy named Ron who lives up the mountain, and he has
Ron!
we call him Mountain Man Ron because he has a crossbow. It gets so much better with a scope on it, and he can just look down the mountain and shoot a deer in his backyard.
That's like Ron Swanson.
So he protects them.
Yeah, Ron the Mountain Man.
That's like Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, Mountain
So-
Man.
There's Ron.
Okay.
He's there.
Right.
He doesn't like people in his driveway, so if you ever go near,
You might get shot by a crossbow.
you may get shot by more than just a crossbow.
Oh.
So he
So that's
Man
just
Ron.
the sort of place Sussex County
yeah.
is.
Uh,
Just for some context.
and just a little warning: if you ever go to live in Sussex County, don't call the cops on petty crap. Like someone broke into your house, get a gun, shoot him, whatever. But don't call the police because they don't have like Montague. They don't have Montague police because they just can't afford it, I guess. So, and it's just kind of a small area, and there are not a lot of people living there, so they don't have a lot of money flow.
Yeah.
So they have the state police come through, and the state police up there are a little violent. They called, someone called the state police because this kid, I say kid, he's probably like 20 years old, was 20, 21, obviously, because he was drinking, was joking around in a bar, and he annoyed a lot of people, and they called the cops on him because he was getting a little violent. And the cops just picked him up, like normal, routine in front of everybody, and then they stopped off the side of the road, beat the crap out of him, and left him on the highway.
Oh my god.
State police!
Jeez.
So, that's the state police. But my story is, we were up there.
Uh-huh.
We brought my dog, Daisy. She doesn't get out much, so we took her there. And,
Daisy had a bad breakup a while ago. She doesn't get out much anymore.
yeah, she doesn't. She's been eating a lot of dog ice cream.
Yeah, for the viewers at home, Daisy is too cute.
She's a golden retriever.
She's cute.
She's gonna be 4 in June.
I have
Wow.
a dog too.
She is a dog, too.
Yeah. But that's a story for another time.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make this quick so Willa can possibly fit in something. We went up there, and my sister's boyfriend has a truck. He had a big truck originally. Anthony can vouch for that. Anthony had to crawl onto the floor of the truck to
No,
get in.
because the thing was higher than my stomach, I believe. The
yeah.
floor of the thing. So I had to I couldn't lift my leg up that high. So I just slammed myself on the ground and just carefully pulled myself
See,
flopped into
I've been in
it.
this truck 100 times.
Half somersaulted.
What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to lift your leg as high as you can get it up onto the floor. You may not even have to pull yourself up. Just grab the handle
Uh-huh.
and then use your whole upper body to pull yourself up.
But you don't
Right.
understand. If I lifted my leg that high, my pants would rip.
See? And that's why you don't wear, I don't know, Dockers you wear?
I don't...
So you don't wear that when you're going in the truck. You wear jeans or
No,
shorts.
it wasn't like the whole truck thing was planned.
Yeah. So he has a truck like that. He used to, and then he had to sell it. Now he has a smaller truck, but he's still working on it. Goes relatively fast. There's a road called Deckertown. Literally, the road is called Deckertown.
Yeah.
If you drive down there, there's these little cut-throughs that people make in the woods. And we drove through one of them. And usually they lead to a cornfield, and we usually make donuts in the cornfield when there's no corn planted.
As you do.
As you do when you have nothing to do in the country.
Because, fuck the corn, am I right? High five.
So, there's that. We were driving in one of those, and he saw this one that he's never really been down before. So he's like, let's go down there. And he drives down there, and there's a bump, and there's this huge dip in the road. So he takes the dip really slow, and he comes back around. And he goes onto Deckertown and back in the entrance again. This time going about 30, which is relatively fast for a very tight road.
Yeah.
That isn't a road. And then he gets up to that first bump, and you're like, okay, well, that's a big bump. And you're like, okay, that's... Okay. So he hits the giant dip in the road.
Which I guess he forgot was there.
He kind of forgot was there, and he was going about 30. That's kind of fast for a dip in a road with a truck that's not even 4 feet off the ground, not even that high. So
Oh,
it's
boy.
a pretty big dip. So at first, when we first hit it, he Dukes a Hazard it, first of all. You felt the truck go off the ground, and for about 10 seconds, it was kind of weightless, that kind of feeling.
Oh boy.
My sister was in the middle, because there's only 3 seats in the front. My sister was in the middle, and she had her knee near the dashboard. She didn't have a belt on, because there's no middle belt. So we were kind of holding her in.
Oh.
And she hit her knee on the dashboard as we hit the floor, which was fine. But, we Dukes a Hazard it, and I immediately thought once we hit the ground, I heard
What does that mean?
I thought the bed of the truck is that big thing.
What does Dukes of Hazzard mean?
You drive off the thing and you're in the air.
Dukes of Hazzard. I've never watched it. Maybe I should.
The original,
someday.
it's really good.
It's what is it? Just crazy guys going around in a car doing weird shit?
They do shenanigans.
Alright.
Right, so-
we just passed 20 minutes, so
Okay,
we should wrap
yeah.
up. Yeah.
They Dukes of Hazzard it, and then I asked a stupid question when he was going about, I want to say 40 now. He was going about 40 down Deckertown. I said, does this have anti-lock brakes? And you know, Chris being a dumbass, he slams the brakes.
So
slams
your
the brake.
unbelted sister, what?
She was holding on to him to begin with.
Oh, okay.
They were doing that stupid, weird cuddling crap. So, she beat the shit out of him in the front seat. There was little skid marks on the Deckertown, and she beat the shit out of him while we were at a stop. And then she hit me because I asked a question, and then we kept on driving.
Well, oh wow. So now we've hit about 21. We don't have much time left.
If Willa has a good story,
Yeah. I
have
we
a
can
story.
do. Okay,
You don't
so
have
we don't have a story.
So, wow. Thank you, Willa, for joining us like this couple of episodes.
I have a feeling like I might not be a special guest.
She might be a normal thing.
Yeah, I might be.
Honestly, I don't think there are any like. This
Special
might
guests.
come out wrong. I don't think there are any special guests. It's more like just like people
Friends
just
can
sort
be
of.
forced in here.
Yeah, this is Friend Talk Now. If you're our friend, you are here and you are Talk Now. That is.
Maybe.
Oh
maybe
God!
Someday,
Don't shoot me again, James. God
Maybe someday
dang
we'll get
it!
like.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for